Hi everyone, this is Megan Meyer. I'm the registered dietitian with Northern Arizona University Campus Health Services and Health Promotion. Today I'm here to talk to you about ways you can eat a little bit healthier while you're still practicing social distancing and staying at home. So, the most important thing to think about is how to grocery shop in a smart, effective way. There's been a lot in the news about grocery stores running out of food and shelves being empty, and this can really create a feeling of scarcity where we might run to the store and panic grab everything we can find. The reality is, shopping like that isn't very efficient. We tend to spend more money than we wanted to. We tend to end up taking food that other people in need might need. We also might end up buying food we don't even like or want just because we felt like we needed to get it because we didn't know when food would be there. So, by shopping and planning ahead, you can make sure that you're making smart, informed decisions at the grocery store. So, before you even leave the house, take stock of what you already have at your place, so things that you can utilize over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Ideally, you want to plan so that you don't have to go to grocery shopping more than once a week. On that note, make sure you're thinking about what you don't have that you might need. If you're feeling stuck or like you need ideas, be sure to look up some easy recipes on your favorite cooking websites and you can go from there. We'll also have a few recipes attached to this presentation as well. Once you kind of have a good idea of what you have and what you don't have, you can write a list to make sure that you're able to get to the grocery store and be in and out quickly. It's important to make sure your list is specific. That will also make sure you're buying enough, but not too much. Um, but make sure you have some room for flexibility. So if maybe a brand name that you normally like isn't available, you're able to just quickly grab something similar. And then when you're at the store, be sure to take precautions. So if you want to, you can wear a scarf to cover your nose and mouth. You can also if possible, try to keep a 6 foot distance away from other people. And then after you're done at the store, be sure to wash your hands. Hopefully, by having a list and having a plan, this will be a no brainer, but be sure to not hoard food because you might be taking food that others and people need who maybe don't have the means to stockpile food. Once you get home, be sure to wash your hands and remove your groceries from your bags. Once you've put everything away, wash your hands again. Um, this is really important because we know that hand washing is the most effective way to stop the spread of an illness. Um, it's also important to note that as you maybe go to use a can of something or a jar of something, just wash it before you use it. You don't have to necessarily use hand sanitizer if you don't have it or like Clorox wipes, but make sure you wipe it down. That's good food safety practice. As of now, there is no evidence that coronavirus or COVID is spread from food. And so it's more if you were sharing a food or a drink that you would be worried. So for many students, a challenge might be having enough fridge space in your room, in your hall, in your apartment if you have several roommates. So this next few slides, we're going to go over different foods from all the different food groups that maybe require minimal refrigeration or minimal space to make sure you're still getting some healthy foods in. So the good news is when we're looking at fresh produce, especially fruits and vegetables, we're going to start to see that there's actually still plenty of these foods available, more so than maybe canned or frozen fruits and vegetables. So the idea is to buy a mix of everything. Most fresh produce will last about a week either on the counter or in the refrigerator, so just making sure you do buy a variety of these foods can be super helpful. So to start, dried fruits are always a great option. They have a really long shelf life, so that could be strawberries, bananas, mangoes, apple slices, really whatever you enjoy. You can also buy things that are prepackaged and convenience like fruit cups, fruit juice, those little squeezy packages of fruit sauces like applesauce and fruit bars. The nice part, of course, about dried fruits and then the canned or prepackaged fruits is you don't have to worry about them going as bad as quickly. If possible, look for the ones with less sugar added, maybe packed in juice or water instead of syrup. But don't beat yourself up if you can't find that. Other things you can do are buy fruits that will keep well on the counter if you don't have a lot of fridge space. So apples, bananas, any kind of citrus, papayas, and mangoes. Once those foods are ripe, if you have fridge space, go ahead and throw them in the refrigerator because that will make them last at least a week and a half, sometimes up to 2 weeks. For vegetables, again, if possible, try and get fresh ones just because we know that they tend to be more available during a time of panic. Dried veggies or veggie chips are always a great option. So there's dried veggie chips in the bulk bin at Sprouts, and there's prepackaged veggie chips, veggie straws. You can also buy canned vegetables like green beans, peas, carrots, corn, tomatoes, tomato sauce, and beans. If you're worried about the sodium in them, you can rinse them in a colander that you would use to drain pasta. And then, of course, there are plenty of vegetables that can be kept on the counter. Basil is an herb, cucumbers, dry onions, eggplant, ginger, peppers, potatoes, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and tomatoes. Once these are cut, it's a great idea to throw them in the refrigerator. If you have fridge space, things like carrots and broccoli will hold up really well and are very sturdy, so they're a great thing to buy to keep on hand. The nice part about buying grains is that they're shelf stable, meaning you don't have to keep them in the refrigerator and they'll last a long time. So, just a few things. When you store bread properly, so in a cool, dark place, it should last about 4 to 5 days at room temperature. Things like barley, quinoa, oatmeal, rice, bulgur, pasta don't need any refrigeration when they're not cooked, and same for popcorn, which is a great whole grain. If you're worried about cooking rice, maybe if you only have a microwave, it's really easy to cook white rice in a microwave. So you can just look online for how to do that. You can also buy the things that are already in the pouches in a microwave for 90 seconds. And of course, if you don't have great kitchen access, things that are ready to eat like cereals, breads, buns, tortillas, and crackers are all great ideas to keep on hand to get a little carbohydrate through your day. When we're looking at protein foods, we do want to make sure we have enough protein to last us for the week because really these are those foods that are going to keep us full and satisfied. So you can do a few things. Easy to eat deli meat and meat slices is great if you don't have a lot of fridge space. And the nice part is they haven't been flying off the shelves, especially if you get them from the actual deli section of the grocery store. Um, Also, of course, looking for protein foods that can be stored at room temperature. So, if you don't have a lot of space, things like canned fish, beans, and peas, nuts, and seeds are all great options. And then, of course, buying fresh meats, eggs, yogurt, and cheese can also be very helpful. Um, the nice part with leftover meats, eggs, and cheese is that you can always freeze them if you know you're not going to be able to finish them. The thing that's not mentioned on here but still seems to be available quite frequently is tofu and hummus. So those might also be great ideas to stock up on if you have the fridge space. And then when we're looking at dairy, you can either buy dairy products that don't need to be refrigerated or you can buy plant milks. So plant milks like rice, oat, almond, quinoa, soy, and hemp can be held unopened at room temperature. And then, of course, once you do open it up, it needs to go into the refrigerator. You can also look for ultra high temperature processed milk. So it tends to be the milk in the little boxes that you can find in the aisles, not in the refrigerated sections of the grocery store. You can also look for dry powdered milk or canned milk. And then very hard cheeses like Parmesan or Gouda often don't need to be refrigerated. And then, of course, chocolate will have a little bit of calcium if it's milk chocolate, so go for it. So I'm not going to run through all these recipes, but you can download them and look at them separately. You can make microwave 5-minute mac and cheese if you want. If you're looking to add some vegetables, you can always throw some cooked broccoli in there. You can do a baked potato, or you can make an omelet in a mug if you have eggs. You can also make a no-cook bean dish. So in Texas, this is like a cowboy caviar that's just canned beans and other canned vegetables and salsa. And you can also make chili either in the microwave or on the stovetop. And last, you could make some garbanzo beans if you have them that are baked with lots of different seasonings just to snack on and munch on throughout the day. And then last, a really important note is don't expect perfection during COVID-19 or any sort of pandemic. Even when it's not a pandemic, you don't have to eat perfect, but especially when we're all doing the best we can, we need to let go of those ideas of perfections. That might mean we eat the same things every day. We might not get as much variety as we normally would. Maybe we're eating a little more processed boxed foods, and that's all okay. Sources are limited, and we just need to eat what we have. And the most important thing is that you're eating. So, here are just a few references for those recipes. If you feel like you are struggling or need additional support, contact the Health Promotion Office at healthpromotion@nau.edu. Thanks, everyone.